Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mano 777, and we're back inside of Destiny. It is the night before Rise of Iron comes out. We are so psyched here. Cannot wait for year 3 in Destiny to begin. And I thought I was going to have a pretty chill night, kind of just chilling out and being ready and hanging out. But then I heard that the database for Destiny was updated, and there is a massive amount of content that I want to bring to you. We're going to be bringing you raid details. We're going to be bringing you information on what we've gleaned from new armor, new exotics, all the exotics that we know about that are in the database right now, including some different items that you're going to want to try and find and pick up, some new emblems and things like that. So if you guys like something in this video, a positive rating would be greatly appreciated. Hit that subscribe button for more Rise of Iron and Destiny content. Check out my Twitch live streams. All that information is down in the description box below. And if you feel like it, leave a comment down below. It lets me know that the content I'm bringing to you is something that you find worthwhile. So with that, let's get to it. Quick public service announcement, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to be talking about stuff that is going to be probably not spoiler free. So if you are wanting to go into Rise of Iron without knowing anything, you don't want to know anything about any of the raid weapons, you want the entire thing to be a surprise, then I highly recommend maybe you click on a different video in my playlist or something like that. There's definitely going to be some content in here that is probably going to spoil a little bit of the story, or at least a little bit of the raid, as far as I can tell. And if you don't want to check out the database, that's totally cool. But again, just a quick warning, this is not going to be spoiler free. The first thing we're going to look at is all of the exotics that we know about in the game that are going to be coming with Rise of Iron. First of all, we've got our Thorn, we've got our Trespasser, we've got our Kvostov, which we know about, and those have been reviewed to absolutely oblivion. So everyone pretty much knows about that. Of course, we've got our Gjallarhorn, but the new exotics that we're looking for, we've got the Young Wolf's Howl. And it says, kills with this sword grants super energy. It's a solar sword used to unleash a Fury solar eruption that weakens enemies and deals damage over time. Very, very cool. It looks amazing. It looks amazing in the actual icon. Really looking forward to picking that up. Of course, we also have some different exotic armor pieces. For the Warlock, we have the transversive steps that have been in the inventory for quite some time, as well as the Ophidian aspect. We've got the Astrocyte verse. Of course, all of these are really, really cool, and you can just check them out at your leisure. Feel free to pause the video at any time to check out all of the flavor text, but I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible, so it is not, because I could go on for an hour if needs be, and I'd really like to get to everything. For the Hunter, we have Shinelbo's Vow. Then we have, over on that, we have Frost EE5 for the leg armor. For Titans, we have Dune Marchers, and then we have the Thagomizers. And you guys can check that out at your leisure, like I said before. In addition, we're going to take a look at a little bit of the raid armor and glean a little bit of information from those to the raid. You know, there's some things that are in the flavor text and some basically elements of the raid armor and raid weapons that can kind of show you what is going to happen in the raid. So as we look at the chest armor, we've got the Nanomania vest, we've got the Cosmoclast plate, and we've got the Nanomania vest and Miasma robes. Now, the spliced version of all of these are essentially the harrowed versions, the hard versions of these that you would get from the heroic version of the raid, and then basically just the normal ones are the ones that we're going to be able to get on Friday. But they all say take half damage when carrying the Siva charge. So the real question is, what is the Siva charge? Are we going to have to use the Siva and then do damage to one of the bosses? And actually, we know about the bosses too, but I'm going to put those at the very end of the video, so in case if you want to just check out the armor and stuff, but go into the raid without knowing the bosses, we're going to go ahead and just hold off on that, guys. So, very cool, very interesting on that. Again, all of those basically, again, are anything that's spliced is going to be anything that is the hard version of it. In addition, we've got the boots from all of these different pieces. We've got the spliced Nanomania boots, the spliced Cosmoclast greaves, we've got the spliced red Miasma boots, and they all gain a speed boost when carrying a Scorch, Null, or Shock cannon. So I'm wondering if the Scorch, Null, or Shock cannon is going to play a very important role. If you're wondering what the heck a Null or a Shock cannon are, they're essentially the different energy types of the Scorch Cannon. Scorch Cannon, of course, is solar. The Null Cannon is going to be void damage, and the Shock Cannon is going to be arc. Now, my question is, and I've actually thought about this in another video, is that maybe they all have different elements. Maybe they act in a different way. Maybe we have to use them in different ways on the bosses in the raid. So very cool. The helmets are pretty cool looking, but they don't have anything that tells us about the raid. It's essentially increased super energy for killing minions of the darkness, and take less damage from the Fallen for a short period of time. We've got the Cosmic Blast helm, the Nanomania mask, as well as the red Miasma hood. So very, very cool. What I'm excited about is this huge new range of awesome weapons that we can pick up from the raid, including a sidearm. Yes, we have a sidearm named the Zeal Vector. Now, it does look like there is going to be double RNG on these weapons and on these armor pieces. As I looked in the directory, it looked like there were some random elements, so I'm sure it's going to be very much like the Taken King. But let's go ahead and take a look at the grasps and the gauntlets for everything. First of all, we have the spiced Cosmo-classed gauntlets, and it says, receive bonus melee energy for each enemy standing nearby you when you get a kill. Increased heavy ammo drops from fallen enemies. I'm thinking that since this is going to be like the Bungie developers described it as a crap crashing into other crap, I'm thinking that heavy ammo is going to be massive, especially because each one of these, the Nanomania grasps, the Cosmo class gauntlets, and the red Miasma gloves, all talk about receiving heavy ammo drops from fallen enemies. Now, how close quarters combat are we going to be? I have no idea. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting to check out. Then, of course, we've got the steel medulla pulse rifles. I always enjoy looking at pulse rifles. This weapon can be fired in full auto mode. Landing 3 bursts on a target causes the 4th burst to do extra damage. Very cool. Really excited to check those out. Now, some things you want to take a look at. We can actually see the ship that we are going to get from the raid, and it looks amazing. It's called the Nano Phoenix, and it's right here. Its flavor text reads, all destruction is an act of creation, and vice versa. Very cool. Very, very interesting. Now, something you're going to need to know about. You're going to want to pick up Siva cache keys, and they are used to open Siva caches in the Wrath of the Machine raid. Each cache can grant rewards once per week. So I'm thinking that it's going to kind of be like the skeleton keys. You know, maybe you have to choose which boss you maybe want to get loot from. Maybe you build up a certain amount of, who knows, like energy, or you get those things to drop, and that allows you to open up a loot cache, and maybe you're allowed to pick those things up. Again, it looks like we're going to have a number of different fragments to pick up. I was thinking that possibly the dormant Siva clusters are going to be for that pulse rifle that we keep seeing in the game and things like that. I'm really looking and excited for that. A couple of other just random things that I was looking at. There are some different artifacts that you can actually get from that are Siva oriented from the raid. They actually are for your different characters. I noticed that they said one for Hunter, one for Warlock, one for Titan. So those are going to actually be other artifacts that you can get in the game other than just the Iron Lord artifacts that we know about. In addition, we know that there's going to be something called an Axis Core. We know there's going to be something called a Siege Engine Tech. And we know there's going to be something called a Vasic Core. And those are all things that maybe kick off to lead to other exotics that we can pick up that are going to make items really awesome in the raid. Very cool. Again, I'm going to save my last little bit of information to the end of the video, but I'm going to talk about some other things that look really cool. We've got the Vigilant Discipline. This looks like the Trials of Osiris Year 3 emblem. We have my favorite pulse rifle from Year 1. Hopscotch Pilgrim is returning to the game. I don't know about you. I am so psyched. I loved my Hopscotch Pilgrim. I am going to grind for that super hard. What guns are you looking forward to getting? Now, it looks like the Axis Core and the Siege Engine Tech and the Vasic Core all have to do with a certain boss in the game. Like I said, we're going to take a look at these emblems. We've got Vasic's Venom, we've got Machine God's Bane for an emblem, and we've got a Siva Charge. So it says on the Siva Charge, on occasion in high voltage fields, a clump of Siva will glitch off the main swarm. Activated but without a directive, the unstable math seethes. Touching it triggers a chain reaction with an explosive conclusion. I'm thinking that Siva Charge is going to be absolutely something you're going to need to use on the bosses. You're going to have to use those Siva Charges to go and kill some of the enemies in the game, especially some of the bosses. It looks Absolutely amazing, guys. In addition, there's also this thing called an Ice and Fire token. And it says, pay your respects in the Iron Temple. It's a consumable. Maybe you use that and you get more Iron Banner reputation, something else like that. Now, put on your tinfoil and your spin metal hats. We're looking here at a screenshot of a new emblem that is also going to be in the game. I'm super psyched for it. We know that there's been this whole like preview event that is going to be taking place in Destiny. There is the Owl Sector logo here. You can take a look at it. It's awesome. Another thing that, you know, maybe you just picked it up and it was something you wanted to take a look at and you wanted to take part in preparing for Rise of Iron, and maybe this is something you're going to be able to pick up because of that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to know any more details about the raid, now is the time to shut the video off. Thank you so much for watching, etc., etc. We'll see you next time. However, if you want to know more about the raid, stay here for a second. I'll give you 5 seconds, okay? Here we go. All right, guys, we know more about the Wrath of the Machine. In fact, we have pictures of the bosses. Pictures of the bosses, guys. We also know what the challenge modes are going to be. So first of all, we have the 3 pieces of the raid. We know about it right now. We have Metal and Flesh. We've got Find and Destroy the Devil Splicers, Leading the Fallen War in the Plague Lands. We've got Slay the Arch Priest, Repair the Siege Engine, and Slay Axis. Those are the 3 bosses, big bosses we're going to face in the raid. We have pictures right here for you. It looks like Axis Archon Prime is going to be the actual boss that we face in the raid. It's going to be, Axis is the fruit of the Devil Splicer's labor. A former Archon priest, Axis has submerged himself in Siva's apotheosis and emerged as Archon Prime. All that he was is gone. His dreams, his hopes replaced by agency. He has shed his gods in his ether-like skin, and in his uplifted state waits in his perfection complex for offerings of Siva from all fallen. Pretty cool. He looks like a giant spider fallen guy with a massive gun. Looks very cool. And we know that he's going to be from the raid, and he's going to be one of the raid bosses because we're dropping items that are called the Axis Core and things like that. Let's take a look at the other bosses too. We've got Vosik, the Archpriest, which actually looked like the Machinist before. He very much is, I believe, what they were calling the Machinist before. Vosik is like his second in command. Vosik has been enhanced by Siva, but lacks the total apotheosis of Axis, Archon Prime. Vosik wields the technology to build and maintain a body for Axis, nothing more, nothing less. In due time, Vosik will ascend, all his people will, and worlds will fail. So very cool. Of course, we've got the Splicer Priest, and that's going to be something that you face off against in one of the strikes. But of course, we've got the Death Zamboni. That is going to be the Siege Machine, guys. So that is the 3 bosses from the raid. How we're going to kill them, I don't know. But I'm going to be trying for Worlds First. I hope you come join me. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully you like something in this video. There's so much stuff to talk about, so many cool things to do, so many cool items to pick up. I cannot wait to check out Year 3 in Destiny. What are you most excited for? Are you most excited for private matches, the raid, Trials of Osiris to come back? What are you excited about? Leave a comment down below. Again, if you like something in this video, a positive rating would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't yet, if you want to check it out, I've got some awesome videos up, and I'll be bringing you all the up-to-date content that I can on Rise of Iron. Check out my Twitch live streams where I'll be going for Worlds First this Friday for Wrath of the Machine. And guys, if you feel like it, leave a comment down below. It lets me know that the content I'm bringing to you is something that you find interesting, and I love talking to you guys. I want to find out what you guys find is interesting. I really enjoy talking to you guys about this game that I love. Thank you so much for watching. My gosh, and thank you for so much for 5,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. I will see you next time, Guardians, in the universe of Destiny.